Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Repo.
So that was a failed attempt.
Was there only 2 attempts for them to burn the clubhouse down?
The one attempt of them to, burn it down and blow it up and burn it down was the second one.
Yeah.
Whether if one could have been first before the other, but they were the only 2 incidents that I know of that physically took place that actually happened at that location.
So there was no shootings or anything like that over there?
They came by a couple of times. There was some bullets in the walls that were patched up, and that one ex-member that quit trying to come down and smoke me in the street that night. And,
yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Oh yeah,
we gotta get into that in detail on what exactly.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into it. We'll see how the comments roll there, because if you weren't there, you don't know, and there were people there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yep. How about we get on to the next here?
Yeah. So what's the next stop? What are we gonna do? Where are we going next?
I'll hold that for a couple of minutes until we get there, and we'll blow it out right there and surprisey.
All right, cool. All right, we'll be back with the next location. Stay tuned. Hit the like button. All right, we're back at a new location. You just drove by one of your old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
We're gonna go over it. I'm gonna show a picture. I don't know if you can see this.
Yep. Yeah, that was the old Philadelphia Clubhouse.
Yeah, I looked online. There's absolutely no pictures of this online.
No, I'm pretty sure they took everything down. But used to be up online somewhere.
Yeah,
but that's an actual picture of it, in its current day and time.
So where was that sign placed?
You look like where you would walk through the gate there in the front.
Yeah.
The block wall. It was on the right-hand corner of the block wall, on top of that little 2-foot fence that's there, 18-inch fence, whatever it is.
Oh, so it's right above that little fence.
Correct. Yep. It sat right on top of it. They took the cap off the top and literally just sat that down on top of the post.
Now, where did they take the picture? Did they take it away from there and take the picture?
That was taken away from the house, wherever they went with it. That was, I think it was the next morning or the day after that picture actually aired in the local newspaper, Philadelphia.
And what were your thoughts when that picture came out?
Like, oh boy, there's gonna be some shit now. Hopefully they tell the truth about it. I don't know what they told him, but there was a lot of commotion going on about that one. And again, it was like, that wall, I think the wall was 4.5, 5 feet tall. So literally, you just, a 6-foot dude just reach up and take that sign and lift it right off of that post and roll with it. That was easy picking for them.
Yeah, so it wasn't no dramatic thing where they beat people down and took the thing.
No, they just pulled up in front of the house, walked up and took it. I had seen the video that Philly House had of the guy just reaching up and taking it.
Oh, they had a video of it.
Oh yeah, the house had cameras all over it, inside, outside. Yeah, they had a video of them just pulling up in the middle of the night, walking up and snatch, gone.
So did they have a video of the grenade getting launched over too?
I don't know what they had. I think the regime at that time disposed of that, so law enforcement couldn't obtain it. But I'm sure, they had law enforcement had their own cameras on the street, neighbors' houses, whatever. Were quite capable of, seeing that themselves.
Yeah.
Whether they physically knew what it was, but from what we were told, law enforcement had a audio recording of that guy, saying, "Hey man, I just blew up the Philadelphia Clubhouse." I don't know if that guy was wired for sound or his phone was tapped, but yeah, law enforcement, I'm sure they had some snitches in their house. We definitely had a couple in ours.
Yeah, it's like looking back, it kind of puts it into perspective that some of these guys are working with law enforcement now, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
transpired?
We were, pretty sure about two of them. Had thoughts of others. Absolutely, one was solid. The dude that wound up setting me up on a case he had done, but he was, being paid to inform against the club. And another one, we highly suspected was that one dude that years later wound up becoming a Bucks County warlock.
Now, what's protocol when you find out someone's working with law enforcement? What do?
Confront that person. Right up there. You got to get your ducks in a row. Get your ducks in a row. Get solid evidence of what that dude is doing, and then handle it however they decide to take care of it.
But you got to be careful because they're working with law enforcement. They could put you all in prison, right?
Absolutely, because those guys had a frequency of openly talking shop amongst guys that I hated even saying hello to sometimes, because you just knew that what had taken place and the lies that were going around. And it got to the point where I didn't trust any of them after Tom was gone.
Did you trust the members that were angels before the pagans came in? Was there any that were trustworthy?
Well, originally what started Philadelphia were all former pagans. There were some guys that became members that were not pagans at that time. And just with everything going on, you got to be on a really tight guard, because you don't know who's doing what. And with everything that was taking place, you really had to question who was who and who was talking to who. And as it played out, one guy that after Tommy killed, guys were dropping left and right, and this guy was just power struggling. I want to be the president. Well, he got that, and then he winds up finding out he's a snitch, and he's going all over the place, sitting in people's houses, other charters, talking shop with them, and I don't know what they talked about. And I'm glad I don't. It leaves me out of that equation. But it's like, take whatever you know to the grave by yourself, because you just don't know who to trust when the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, and we got to make it perfectly clear, because there's a lot of people, well, not a lot, but there's some people that are going to talk and make comments. But we don't disclose club business. That's one thing we don't do here. There's a lot of things you can talk about, but we're not gonna, right?
Right. Correct.
Because there's no need to do that type of stuff and put people on blast. And speaking of shop, what's this place?
Let's see. That picture was one of the former Philadelphia Hells Angels, former Pagans garage. They called him Slim.
You said that where that P is, the crossed out P?
Yeah.
What did that used to say?
That used to have no P's, apostrophe P, and another little circle there with no 16s on the door.
Oh, so
no 16s and no P's, like pagans. No pagans and no 16s, which are the pagans.
So he was a former pagan?
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, he said he had, if I recall correctly, like approximately 20 years as a pagan in, I think, Delaware County.
Now, the reason...
right around the
ahead.
corner from there. Delaware County is just a hop, skip, and a jump.
The reason why a lot of these guys bailed is because of this guy, right?
Yeah, he was a tough individual, man. Like, he really built a strong motorcycle club. He was a structure of it and ran it with an iron fist, the way it should be. Guy, he was an ex-Philadelphia cop that wound up becoming the leader of the Pagans. And
wait, he was a cop?
He was a Philadelphia cop at one time, yeah. Yep.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I guess their structure is a little differently than Hell's Angels are. They do their own thing. HA does their own thing, whatever. But yeah, he was a force to be reckoned with. He wasn't no joke. And I'm sure he's the same man today that he was back then if you get on the wrong side with him.
Can you explain like what happened? What exactly happened? Because it was him. Tommy was his VP, right? He was the president.
Yeah.
Tommy was the VP.
Tommy was right there under him. I don't know what, how they call themselves, president, vice president, whatever. But,
yeah, but they had a pretty strong force at the time, right?
Oh, extremely strong. Their numbers, I'll give you this, their numbers might be, let's just use the number 10. 10 of them, in the right scenario, faced with an opposition, could equal 30 of the other guy. They're no joke. They are no joke to mess with them.
So do you know what happened? Like, what was the reason it all fell apart for Gorilla and the rest of them?
I think Gorilla wound up going to jail, and they just decided that wasn't what they wanted to do or be anymore, and they made, the step forward to becoming Hell's Angels. Tommy and several others that had left with him.
But he got shot first.
Well, Tommy wasn't Hell's Angel. He was,
no, Gorilla got shot first.
Oh yeah, Gorilla was shot at one point in time. They said some guy told him something, some like his sister or something was up the street. And somebody was messing with her or smacking her around or whatever, and he went running up the street. They had set him up to get shot.
Yeah, and he got shot like 6 times, I believe, right?
Something like a number of times. He lived, man. He came out of it, kept going, like the Energizer Bunny. Knock him down, but he's getting back up.
He was in the newspaper quite a bit in Philly.
Numerous times. Yeah. He was old school, man. He didn't take no shit, and he did what it had to be done, when it had to be done, when it happened, whatever. That's one thing you gotta say about the Pagans, man. They handle business, and they handle it soon, quick, and decisively.
The video with Sheriff Grady holding up the Pagans patch.
Oh, that's just some balls. And when he goes and rubs his hand, as I understand, nobody but a member is supposed to touch this. And yeah, he's like sending a message out. I wouldn't want to be him if I was a civilian on the street doing that. I don't think there's a rock you could crawl under, a place you could hide, or a country you could go to where they wouldn't find you and have a conversation with you about doing that.
Yeah, that's pretty bold and
very extremely.
One thing I don't like is that, say one person that's in one of these motorcycle clubs gets in trouble, they kind of roll with, they take the name, say it's the Hells Angels or the Pagans or whoever, they take that name and they blast it out, outlaw motorcycle gang, when it's this one individual's
right.
problem.
That's a thing law enforcement likes to do because they want to get the public in fear of them. So, one day if that individual goes up in a courtroom and he's being charged with crimes, they want these people to already perceive, 1% motorcycle clubs are outlaws and gangsters and no good and drug addicts and criminals. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Are there criminals in every organization of that? Yeah, here and there, but you don't have to be a criminal to be in one of these motorcycle clubs.